Did you know that biological males and females have different processes for producing sex cells? In humans, our somatic, or non-sex cells, are diploid, which is designated as 2N. This means that there are 2 copies of each chromosome. Each of our somatic cells has a total of 46 chromosomes, which corresponds to a diploid number of 2N equals 46. In contrast, our gametes, or sex cells, are haploid, which is designated as N. This means that there is only 1 copy of each chromosome. So each of our sex cells has a total of 23 chromosomes, which corresponds to a haploid number of N equals 23. In sexual reproduction, the nuclei of 2 gametes, an egg and a sperm cell, fuse during fertilization to form a diploid zygote. Gametes are formed through the process of gametogenesis. There are 2 types of gametogenesis: spermatogenesis, which is the production of sperm cells, and oogenesis, which is the production of egg cells. Spermatogenesis occurs throughout an adult male's reproductive life, whereas oogenesis starts in the fetus but is arrested or paused until a female reaches sexual maturity. In this video, we will focus on oogenesis. Oogenesis begins inside the fully formed ovaries of a female fetus. Oogonia, singular oogonium, are diploid germ cells that undergo many rounds of mitotic divisions to produce more diploid oogonia. Once oogonia stop mitosis, they instead begin meiosis. Oogonia that have entered meiosis 1 are referred to as primary oocytes. Within the ovaries, each primary oocyte is located in a small follicle, which is a cavity that is lined with protective cells. By 6 months after conception, fully formed fetal ovaries contain about 500,000 primary oocytes. These primary oocytes are arrested at prophase 1 and remain so until the female reaches puberty. Beginning at puberty and continuing until menopause, about 30 to 40 years later, females produce 1 primary oocyte in alternating ovaries each month. The primary oocyte resumes meiosis 1, after which the cytoplasm is divided unequally during cytokinesis to produce 2 haploid cells of different sizes. The larger cell, which is referred to as the secondary oocyte, receives most of the cytoplasm. The smaller cell, which is referred to as the first polar body, is usually non-functional and ultimately disintegrates. The secondary oocyte begins meiosis 2, but is arrested at metaphase 2. At this point, the ovarian follicle ruptures, breaks open, during ovulation, releasing the secondary oocyte into the fallopian tubes. Meiosis 2 resumes only if a sperm enters or penetrates the secondary oocyte. Following meiosis 2, the cytoplasm of the secondary oocyte is also divided unequally to produce 2 haploid cells. The smaller cell, which is referred to as the second polar body, is also non-functional and ultimately disintegrates. The larger cell, which is referred to as an ootid, matures into an egg or ovum. The sperm head remains lodged in this ovum. If the secondary oocyte is not penetrated by a sperm cell, meiosis 2 does not resume, and the secondary oocyte is eventually degraded and expelled from the body during the menses or period stage of the menstrual cycle, when the uterine lining sheds. Following meiosis, 1 diploid primary oocyte results in 1 haploid egg cell that contains a sperm head. The egg cell is considered haploid because fertilization, which is strictly defined as the fusion of the nucleus of the sperm cell and that of the secondary oocyte, does not occur until meiosis of the secondary oocyte is complete. The haploid egg cell that results from meiosis 2 contains 23 chromosomes. The chromosomes include 22 autosomes and an X sex chromosome. Because the haploid sperm also contains 23 chromosomes, once the nuclear membranes of the sperm cell and egg cell fuse, a single diploid nucleus that contains 46 chromosomes is formed in the fertilized egg cell. Oogenesis can take place over many years before it stops at menopause. Over the course of a female's reproductive life, about 500 secondary oocytes are released. The remaining primary oocytes disintegrate during menopause.